The Golden Globe award-winning film Mrs. Doubtfire, made in 1993, depicts a father's effort, played by Robin Williams, to win custody over his children and their hearts by impersonating a made-up nanny, Mrs. Doubtfire. This is an excellent film for demonstrating the different types of masculinities. Using Raewyn Connell's gender order theory, we explore to what extent the two main male leads, Stu and Daniel, reinforce or challenge hegemonic masculinity as the dominant social position of all men. Hegemonic masculinity is defined as the current configuration of practice that legitimizes men's dominant position in society and justifies the subordination of women and other marginalized ways of being a man. Stu Dunmire, played by Pierce Brosnan, is
pushing 40. I don't want to spend the rest of my life by myself.
a controversial fit when placed into examination of hegemonic masculinity.
An awful lot of baggage, though. 3 kids.
3 terrific kids, and I'm crazy about them.
Elizabeth Krimmer has said that Stu's hyper-masculinity is enhanced by his wealth and his good looks guarantee success in ornamental culture.
Off your Mercedes, dear. You own that big, expensive car out there. Oh, dear. Well, they say a man who has to buy a big car like that's trying to compensate for smaller genitals, is he?
Hegemony relies on the compliance of subordinated individuals for it to continue. Daniel's daughter Natalie does not comply to social order.
Your tummy looks different from my daddy's.
He checks his own body for reassurance as he is regarded to have the ideal masculine figure. She recognises that he is not the only model of masculinity. However, with barely any emotion or dialogue throughout the film, most of Stu's actions are through gesture. Stu does not have any physical or verbal dominance, and therefore hegemonic masculinity is a limiting concept for contending masculinities. Where Connell's theory may be lacking, another theorist may provide more insight into how masculinity is performative.
Actually, it's a phenomenon that's being produced all the time and reproduced all the time. So to say gender is performative is to say that nobody really is a gender from the start.
Daniel Hillard, played by Robin Williams, may appear to show a performativity of effeminate qualities seen in mothers.
That's not enough. I have to be with my children.
It is clear to see that in any performativity, Daniel does not conform to hegemonic heteronormativity. According to Michel Foucault, hegemony is gained through dominance, which relies on docile bodies being manipulated, shaped and trained through institutions that aim to serve hegemonic ideals, and the court scene is a prime example where the judge condemns Daniel's behaviour.
And I refuse to further subject 3 innocent children to your peculiar and potentially harmful behavior.
Victoria Flanagan notes that because of the cultural associations of cross-dressing with homosexuality, the simple act of putting on a dress is treated with panic and suspicion. This shows the extent in which the judicial system promotes hegemonic heteronormativity into society as the norm. Connell's theory is applicable to this film as it presents Stu as the ideal hegemonic male for the family and Daniel as the alternative male. Daniel is denied parental rights because the judicial court reinforces hegemony. Therefore, Connell's theory of domination by hegemonic power is accurate. However, by giving Daniel agency, he challenges Connell's assertion because he is accepted as an alternative masculinity by his family. The film Mrs. Doubtfire highlights the changing attitudes and growing acceptance towards the alternative male that starts from the home.
Place. There's a real question for me about how such gender norms get established and policed, and what the best way is to disrupt them and to overcome the police function. It's my view that gender is culturally formed, but it's also a domain of agency or freedom. It's most important to resist the violence that is imposed by ideal gender norms, especially against those who are gender different, who are non-conforming in their gender presentation.